All right, everybody, welcome back to the Impact Agency podcast. I've got a special guest that I want to be able to share with you today and hear a little bit of his story, a little bit of his journey here with Family First Life. And so, Colby, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody. Give them your name, kind of your background, and let them know how you got introduced to Family First Life.
Yeah, so name is Colby Landing. Grew up and raised in Flowery Branch my whole life. Had just to kind of touch a little bit on where I came from, made it through high school, everything, decided not to go to college, had kind of a rough upbringing, so it just wasn't the right thing for me. Ended up going to corporate America, finding a good job, worked my way up the totem pole, and then while I was there, I got injured and was out of work, and I was just trying to find something to do to supplement my income that was decreased. And so I started searching online for different opportunities and stuff, and I found Family First Life, and I've previously looked into other business opportunities as well. And when I saw Family First Life's structure and saw that, we have leads, really the leads sold me, but once I realized that we had leads, we had mentors, we had, a CRM, we had everything we needed to be successful, I was like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. I prayed my entire life for something like this, and here it is.
No, it makes complete sense. It's funny because you saying that reminded me of my story, because those were some of the things that connected with me when I saw this opportunity too, being able to have leads that I could get clients on demand, and being able to have mentorship from people that were successful, teaching me what to do, how to do it. And they weren't just teaching me theory, they were actually teaching me what they've done and are doing. And then just having a system in general that I can actually build, like a structure that I can build. Because I've always been the type of person that I won't go open up my own, mom and pop restaurant, but I'll buy a franchise any day. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that to me connected, and in my mind when I looked at it, it was like, hey, grabbing that franchise, and then now I just got to apply everything that's in this manual and go to work to be able to achieve what I want to achieve. And how long have you been here at Family First Life so far?
Yeah, so I started full time in November. Really, just starting full time November, and I've had ups and downs throughout the business. I've had great mentors, and I couldn't do the business without, my uplines and the people that I've leaned on. But the structure that, it's made me grow up. It's made me become I feel like I really became an adult, honestly. When you're going to work, you're just kind of going through the motions, clocking in, clocking out. When I found Family First Life and I devoted, the entirety of my time and efforts to Family First Life, that's when things started paying off. When I realized that I have to implement every second of every day to making sure that I'm doing what I need to do to not only pay my bills, but set up my family for generational wealth, I knew that I had to, come to Family First Life, put in all my effort, stay consistent, and it's starting to pan out now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's so important because of the fact that, sometimes it does take some time to ramp up. We have one of our agents, Cameron, he's been with us now for about 2 months, maybe 2 months and a week. And, his first 2 weeks was 0 families that he protected. And then in his second week, it was like 8 families. And it was almost like he just sprung up like a bamboo tree. And then he's consistently been able to go out and help families. And I don't think we talk about that enough, about, the initial struggles that you encounter in this business, especially if it's new. Have you ever done anything that was sales specific before coming to this?
The only things that I did, sales specific, I started a wholesaling business on the side for myself while I was working a full-time job. So the things that I did, I never took as serious as I needed to.
Makes sense.
Because I was able to rely on my job, So once I came to Family First Life, I was new to sales, but then I realized, I'm going to have to put in 10 times more effort than I was putting into those part-time opportunities.
Yeah, 100%. And I think a lot of people get to realize that, and we try to be as upfront as possible. It's like, hey, this takes devotion, takes discipline, takes dedication. to be able to learn and implement and fail and adjust in order to succeed. So what were some of those failures or struggles that you had, like getting started, coming out the gate?
Yeah, so the biggest struggle for me was staying consistent, honestly. I did 35, well, I helped 3.5 families my first week. So it was nice, and it was more money than I've ever made in a week.
Yeah.
So my second week, 30 appointments was the goal, but I didn't buy fresh leads. And so that would, kind of screwed me up. And I just had to really learn, stick to the system and stay consistent. And I learned it the hard way, but it works.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's the thing, is being able to understand that, okay, there's a system, and then also consistency within that system is what's going to guarantee you success. A lot of times, where you said you helped 3.5 families your first week, people come in and they're like, oh, this is easy, I got this, and then slack off, maybe not get enough leads the next week, not book enough appointments that week because you've got that commission coming in from those families that you protected, and you feel like, okay, I got this thing on lock, and then you get, punched in the face the next week. You're like, oh, maybe I don't have it figured out. Yeah. So that happens a lot to a lot of people, and that's a part of the process. The key thing, though, like anything else you do in entrepreneurial world, is you can't give up. You can't quit. And I always tell new agents that, hey, give us a good 60, 90 days initially, but realistically, you're looking at about 12 months before you really figure this thing out. And know that you're in a rhythm and you have a career that you could build for as long as you want to, either as a producer or building an agency. So thanks for being transparent and sharing that about consistency. Was there anything else that you kind of struggled with that you think would be beneficial for a newer agent to know?
Yeah, definitely hone in on your lead flow. Like in my area that I was running, I had a little bit of ups and downs with figuring out, final expense, mortgage protection, whatever you needed to do. Definitely supplement, both. But if you're not getting your 30 appointments a week, you have to buy more leads. And I wasn't guaranteeing myself, enough appointments to protect enough of families to buy more leads the next week. So you have to really hone in on your lead flow to the point where you're producing not only enough to pay your bills, you're producing enough to buy more leads the next dial day. Mm-hmm. So you have to go out there and you can't just take a day or two off, because then you won't have money for the next dial day. You won't have money for the next dial day. Yeah. So like it'll everything in this business will catch up to you. If you take a few days and you're not doing anything, that few days, even though you might have a few commissions hitting, they're going to catch up to you later whenever a couple chargebacks come back or something.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, and then that ties into that consistency too, where it especially in that first year, you want to make sure that, hey, you've made that mindset that, hey, I'm working hard for this year to be able to figure this out, get into a rhythm, get into a consistent flow, and then you can always adjust the schedule later on. But that's good. And leads, speaking of which, what would you, I guess for you on a weekly basis, how many leads do you have each dial session you come into? How many leads do you have ready to dial?
Yeah, so I locked out a few counties in terms of mortgage protection, so those just kind of come in,
Yeah.
But I definitely use supplement second chance mortgage protections. Make sure I at least, like if I have 15 or 20, fresh leads, I make sure I have like 30 to 60 second chance leads, to supplement in there. And that typically gets me about my 15 appointments for the next 2 days.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I love those second chance mortgage protection leads, man. I did a video and dropped it into our team group the other day where I was following up with a client. It was one of the first few policies I wrote, and it was I wrote that policy in August of 2017. The lead was from, I think, June of 2016, so it was over a year-old mortgage protection lead, and I was able to help her, and the policy is still in force to this day. So there's a lot of gems in those leads, a lot of people that didn't get protection initially and they still need it. And so now you reach out and it's like, there's no time like the present. So one of the things I want to focus on, and we could kind of wrap with this, Colby, is that we had a conversation in the office today about the importance of the office and kind of how to, I guess, maximize that environment. A lot of agents watching this are close to an office, and by close, I mean you're within 2 hours, of a Family First Life office. As a Work Spots member, you have access to that office to be able to get in there on dial days and work with the agents that are in that office, learn from the agents. There's generally training at least one day, if not both days of the week, but not a lot of people are taking advantage of that. We have that here in the Atlanta office where we don't have as many agents in the office as we have in Atlanta. And you were sharing a couple things about that, kind of your perspective. And so I wanted you to kind of share that here with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the beginning, the office, I was kind of scared to come in. It wasn't because I was intimidated of the people here. It was more so for me, do I have enough money to drive an hour there and an hour and a half back due to like 95 traffic? Because traffic terrible in Atlanta. But so like, do I have enough gas money to get there, enough willpower to go there and stay there until I get my appointments done? Because at the beginning, I would come to the office, be here for like 5-6 hours. Oh, I'm going to go home and finish the day dialing. So I missed the traffic. I don't have to hit the traffic. No, just stay later than the traffic.
Yeah.
So I've definitely come into the office, and not only gives you, access to people for resources, but it also gives you, a solid area and a spot to stay organized, stay focused, and just hone in on your work. Because when you're at home, you have to deal with distractions, and you roll out of bed and you just throw a robe on and go dial instead of, hopping in the shower, waking up 2 hours before you're supposed to be dialing, hop in the shower, do whatever you need to do some reading, whatever, and then make yourself to the office, and you're already winning the day. But whenever you wake up late and you just throw a robe on it, barely brush your teeth, and then you start dialing, your hair's still messed up, you're not on the live dials, you're not going to book the appointments you need.
Yeah, the whole attitude and mentality is different. And, being here, I always relate it to going to the gym. Like, I have equipment at home. I don't work out as hard at home as I do when I go to the gym. When I'm in the gym and I see grandma over there, pumping iron, I'm like, man, I need to step it up, right? At home, it's just me, and I could kind of just, do it in a lazy way. Whereas here in the office, you get in that environment. It's like being in the gym. You got your peers. You have opportunities to be coached by other agents that are doing well. You have a great environment to learn and collaborate, because at the end of the day, we're all independent business owners, and we're trying to help each other succeed at the highest level. So we encourage you and implore you to take full advantage of any office that's within driving distance, whether that's 2 hours, 3 hours, or 20 minutes. Get there, get in the environment, and you can go to Work Spots and look at what office might be closest to you. And if there's one a little bit farther, it might be worth maybe once every 2 weeks or once a month to get into that office if it's a 4-hour drive or whatever the case may be, because you never know what you're going to learn, who you're going to be able to rub shoulders with. And I've always been about shortening the curve. Like, you're going to have to learn a lot in this business, especially if you're new or even if you're not new. There's always something you can learn, and it's better to learn that from somebody else's experience than your own experience. You learn it faster. So, Colby, I appreciate you being on, man. It's awesome to see just how sharp you are, how focused you are. How old are you, by the way? I didn't even ask you.
22.
22, man. Wow, I wish I found this business when I was 22. I found this business when I was 30, and I'm 35 now. So that was 5 years ago. So if I found this at 22, it'd be a whole new world. So great job. If somebody's watching this and they want to work with you, because I know you're recruiting and you're trying to build an agency as well, how would they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so my Instagram is like the main part, and I'm always posting about FFL too. So it's Colby_Landman, Landman. It's pretty simple, Colby like the cheese. And then my phone number is 678-630-0581. Y'all can reach out anytime. And I just wanted to say one thing really quick.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
If you're a newer agent and like you're starting to run a little bit, and you're starting to build consistency, bringing on somebody that you know, recruiting somebody that you know is going to push you so much harder, right? Because I've recently just started bringing people on, and it's amped up my activity so much because I can't let them beat me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't let them write more than me. I can't let, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I just want to lead from the front, be an example. And so if you're a new agent, I encourage you to reach out to your warm market and tell them about this. Even if you're, kind of struggling, it'll help you get more consistent. It'll help you step up your game.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, for me, not you yet, wait as long as you can. But for me, having kids, I have to be more responsible because now I have little humans depending on me. Right. And so, yeah, I had to step up my game once I started having kids and be more responsible. So that's awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing. Guys, if you're watching this and you are not with Family First Life, you need to be. Whether you're in insurance already, working at another agency, IMO, outside of Family First Life, or you're just checking us out and you haven't made that leap yet, come on over. We're here to help you grow. We're looking for individuals that love working hard, love protecting families, can have a good attitude when you have a bad day and when you have a good day, and someone that's coachable, right? And those are the individuals that have success here with us at Family First Life. So I appreciate you watching, and until next time, we'll talk to you soon.